I would venture to say about 85 to 90% of the homes that I inspect have a light switch that we can't figure out what it does. And it doesn't matter if it's a 70-year-old home or if it is a brand new home, there always seems to be some light switches that people are scratching their head. What is this for? Why is it here? What do I need to know about this? So I thought I'd just talk about 6 possible answers for why that light switch isn't working when you flip it. Reason number 1 is the one that most of us probably fear the most. It just doesn't work. Maybe something's not wired right. And in these situations, we tend to fear these the most because it's like, oh no, there's a problem. So don't assume that there's a problem right away just because you flip it and it doesn't work. It could be it's not connected to anything. It could be any of these other issues that we're about to talk about. But that's the place that our imagination usually goes. Oh no, something's wrong. Is there an electrical problem in the house? It could be an electrical problem. It could be that there's an issue with it and it's not working properly. But more than likely, it's probably one of these other things. Reason number 2, there's an old fixture that's been removed. Perhaps there was a fixture at one point. I see this sometimes. A home used to have an attic or a whole house fan, and they removed that whole house fan. Or a home has had a renovation, and maybe there was a leak in the ceiling, and they decided to redo something, and there used to be a light in this spot, and now they've removed it. It is possible that it's just an old switch to something that doesn't work. Another thing, and this is the simplest thing to address if there is a problem, it could just be a bad bulb or a missing bulb. So you're flipping switches, nothing's going on. But if there's that light that you can't figure out how to turn it on, it's possible it's that switch. Reason number 4, that switch could be for indirect lighting. And this is kind of a fun one. This doesn't happen a lot, but in newer homes, we see this more often. When I say newer, homes built in the 90s and later, 2000, 2010s, that type of thing. And a lot of times, indirect lighting is so subtle that if you're looking at a house during the day, you can't even see that there is indirect lighting. Had one recently where there was the switch was actually for lights going down the basement stairs. They sit 8 or 12 inches off the ground. They're just shedding light on the stairs so that it can be left on when it's dark. You're watching a movie in the family room or something like that. You don't want the lights on, so you just give enough light so that you can see the steps and walk through. So it could be indirect lighting like that, or it could be indirect lighting around a vaulted ceiling. Maybe you've got an overhang and there's some light shining up. And if you've got a well-lit room in a bright sunny day, it's really hard to tell that there's even light there. So it could be from that. So indirect lighting is reason number 4. Reason number 5, it could be, especially if these are homes that are built in the 70s and 80s, if you're seeing this in the family room or living room, or if it's in the master bedroom, it could be a newer home. It could be that it's controlling a switch. The switch is controlling a wall outlet. So there is a outlet that if you plug the lamp into, you'd flip this on and it would work. So sometimes it's a control a wall outlet. Back in the 60s and 70s, they used to do this a lot. There would not be any fixed lighting overhead. And so they would just have outlets that you could plug lamps into, and now you'd have light in that room. So that's another key, is if you don't see any light fixtures in a room and you're flipping a switch, most likely the wall outlets are controlled by that switch. At least some of them. And sometimes it's just the top part of the outlet, and sometimes it's the whole outlet. So it can be a variety of things. And number 6, if you are in a master closet, or if you're in a laundry room, or if you're in another closet and there's a switch you can't figure out, if there is an attic in that attic access in that space, most likely you're dealing with a switch that controls a light up in the attic. That way, if you come out of the attic and you close it up, you can't see that the light is on, but if you see that switch is up, you can flip that switch down and make sure that that light bulb in the attic is off. A couple of other things we could see them for. Sometimes we see switches associated with whole house or with attic fans that release air out. So on a really hot day, if they want to help get warm air out, they can flip this switch in the hallway and it'll let air go out the roof. Another place that we might see it is you could have a switch in your master bedroom that's connected to a light on the backyard that you flip it on for security purposes to look and see that no one's outside. So there could be other things, but those 6 that I told you about are probably the most common reasons there are switches that don't seem to work. So thanks for listening. Hope this is helpful.